Welcome back to Team Doctor's blog. Here I am with Christian Medina. This is a superstar athlete in the Taekwondo sport. He's a two-time national champion and recently qualified for Olympic trials that will be held in Colorado Springs, January of 2012. He's also fighting in a competition that's going to get him world ranking in Costa Rica. What I want you to do is stay tuned to more adventures of Christian's career as a Taekwondo athlete. You're going to learn a lot from what we're doing with him and what he can teach you. So here we are, we're talking about his adventures at Team Doctors, and one kind of fun little thing that we decided to do was we decided to do some barefoot running, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, it's interesting that you hadn't done any barefoot running before this, right?
No.
Except for, well, maybe in the ring, right?
Yes.
On a mat? Mm-hmm. And that's done when you do your Taekwondo training, correct?
Yes.
Now, your dad is a master trainer, and he's trained a lot of really great champions, Master Medina. And his facility is, where's it located again?
It's on 3657 East 112th Street.
3657 East 112th Street. If you want to learn Taekwondo the right way, that's where you go, because he trains the champions, and that's why we work with him. Now, after you had been training for a while, you developed some knee pain, right?
Yes.
Now, how long ago was that?
It was about 2 years of pain.
Yeah. So, in other words, you had 2 years of chronic pain in your knees, both knees, right?
Yes.
Now, the first thing we did when we checked you was what?
You check my walking.
Right, check the walking. When we're checking the walking, what we're doing is we're looking at how the mass of his body is impacting with the ground, and specifically how the spring mechanism adjudicates or accepts the weight of his body into or as it impacts with the ground, to see if it bounces it or springs it off the ground, or it bangs and twists it into the ground. And what we found was it was banging and twisting
Yes.
into the ground. And so his spring mechanism was locked, and it was weak. So if anything is locked, what do we do to fix it?
Unlock it.
Unlock it, exactly. And if it's weak, how do we fix it?
It's stronger.
Make it stronger. So the first step is to unlock the spring mechanism, which is what we did. You can find out more about how to do that in the lecture transcripts, in the lectures, workshops, and other blog entries that we have on the blog. The other thing that we do is, after that, is the third step, after releasing it and strengthening the mechanism so it can take up more force in the landings, is impacts, right? Impacts. Now, people talk about impacts as if they're bad. Doctors say, oh, don't do aerobics, don't do running, and anything that impacts the body is bad for you, and that's completely wrong. First of all, impacts or plyometrics is how athletes get stronger, by jumping, bounding, skipping, jumping jacks, depth jumps, and these types of impact drills to make the body stronger, quicker, be able to absorb these impacts and have the quickness, right?
Yes.
Now, if it's so good for athletes, why do doctors say it's wrong? You see what I'm saying? It's because if you do impacts or plyometrics or any type of bounding or jumping where the body has to land from a distance, and it got a locked or weak spring mechanism that can't resist that impact, well, then you're going to bang into the ground. Your body has a natural spring mechanism that protects you from these impacts. So what shoe manufacturers do is they give you a shoe that binds your natural spring mechanism, right? And that takes away your natural spring mechanism and it weakens it because it's bound. And then they give you an artificial spring mechanism, right? To make up for what they took away. And that's called the sole, or these cushiony soles. So what we really need to do is we need to strengthen the mechanism that we're born with and throw away the shoes. So that's what I recommend for what?
Barefoot running.
Barefoot running, right? Now, at first you thought it was kind of odd, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, barefoot running. And then it's even more odd when I told you that you do it on the street, right?
Yes.
You'd think you do it in the sand,
yeah.
Right? But if you drop a spring in the sand, it just sinks right in. It doesn't bounce off. So if you want to do barefoot running properly, you have to do it on a harder surface so the impact can be resisted by the spring. Springs bounce off of harder surfaces. They don't sink into soft surfaces, right?
Yes.
Now, since you've been barefoot running with these impacts, and of course you have to know how to do it. There's a way to do it. You just don't run on the street. You will tear your body up. You have to have good form and technique. But you know what's so great about that? If you are able to barefoot run, then you know your form and technique is right. When you're running with shoes, you have no idea because the connection with the spring is lost. So it's a good way to determine whether your technique is right, right?
Yes.
Now, so the idea here in this barefoot running is to keep your foot pointing towards the target, second toe towards the target. Second thing is that your body needs to be, your center of gravity needs to be ahead of the impact point. Why? Because if you land like this, the spring mechanism jams. And then your body goes over it, but you take up all that force into the spring mechanism. And the other way is where the body is ahead of the spring mechanism quite a bit. That's when you're running faster. Your turnover or your running should always keep your center of gravity ahead of the mechanism, so you can also take advantage of gravity. Gravity is pulling me forward, so that I'm getting the advantage of the gravity pulling me forward. Now, we're going to do some barefoot running for you. And I hope we do a good job now, and I hope that whoever's driving this truck in front of us doesn't think it's barefoot sprinting, right? Like they did last time. They almost killed us. But we're going to do some barefoot running now, and what I'd like to do is let's do a little exercise where we take advantage of gravity, and let's start our run with just a fall forward. Go ahead, Tanya. We're just going to fall forward into our run, right? Okay, good. Keep your feet straight. Your body ahead. Don't bend at the waist. Good. Now, let's do some zigzag, okay? Good. Left. Good. Right. Left. Right. Good. Left. Okay. Okay. Let's do a little bit faster now. There she goes. See? Okay, now, that was a great workout. At the end, she did the barefoot sprinting again,
Yes.
didn't she? That's okay. It's good for the body. Hey, listen, congratulations on using science to determine what was right for your training instead of, just, using whatever somebody tells you. You have to think about the science before you do something. And what that means is that anything you do in training or health has to abide by the laws of physics, engineering, the laws of nature, and common sense. 4 laws. Okay, right?
Yes.
Okay, congratulations on your achievement of qualifying for the Olympic trials, and that'll be in January, right?
Yes.
Okay, would you repeat for us where your dad's training center is?
It's located on 3657 East 112th Street.
Okay, 3657 East 112th Street. Look, he is just talking like he's at the movie, and I'm huffing and puffing. That's because you just trained for the championship, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, fantastic. Okay, watch for more editions with Christian Medina about his training and his competitions. We'll be posting it up on our blog, okay? And come back and see us again, okay?